For those of you wondering what that song is, that's Promised Land. And I think what we've heard so far today, let's hope that that promised land comes to all of us. Before we start, I have a video of our next award winner.
Video go.
One of the clients that had the most significance for me was a woman who was quadriplegic as a result of a defective bicycle. She broke her neck and was paralyzed and on a breathing machine for life. And because of our verdict, she was able to get out of the hospital, out of an institution, into her own home so that she could have her own nurses and be able to get the help that she needed when she needed it. She didn't have to wait for a glass of water or someone to care for her. That meant a great deal to make that kind of a difference in someone's life.
Sitting in slide 39.
It still gives me goosebumps when I talk about it.
That's the kind of person Mary Alexander is. I have the great honor of presenting the Leonard Ring Champion of Justice Award to Mary Alexander. This award is given to a person whose character and integrity are unmatched, who has contributed to the public good and welfare, and whose life and law practice have helped the lives of the less fortunate. On every single basis, Mary deserves this award. I've had the great pleasure of knowing Mary Alexander for over 25 years. I was there when Mary was president of the Consumer Attorneys of California and led the fight to turn back 3 draconian initiatives that would have destroyed client rights in California and the right to a jury trial. But that's just one piece of what Mary has meant to those who believe in the civil justice system. Let's briefly discuss her background. Master's in Public Health, law school graduate from Santa Clara Law School, which, by the way, has also given her awards. The president of Consumer Attorneys of California, president of the National Crime Victims Association, president of the Pound Civil Justice Institute, a leader in the ABA, the California State Bar, and in fact, a recent inductee into the State Bar Litigation Section Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame. And of course, AAJ, president 10 years after holding all the leadership chairs and heading nearly every committee AAJ has, including PAC, membership, budget, endowment, and public affairs. Mary became only the 3rd female president of AAJ and has been and continues to be a mentor to the women lawyers in AAJ and around this country. As president-elect of AAJ, Mary worked hand in hand with Leo Boyle and Linda Lipson after 9/11 to develop Trial Lawyers Care, the pro bono organization of which she served as vice president. TLC lawyers represented over 1,700 families for free. Some of those families Mary represented. During her year as president, Mary implemented decisions that have forever changed AAJ. She introduced the concept of the town hall meeting, started with 30 people, smaller room than this. Now we have hundreds and hundreds who attend that town hall. More lasting effect, though, was Mary's determination that AAJ's executive committee needed the voice of all of our members on the governing committee. Through her efforts, the board adopted permanent seats on the executive committee for the chairs of the minority caucus, the new lawyers division, and of course, women's trial lawyer caucus. I saw her dedication to this organization firsthand. When she was president and dealing with assaults on our clients' rights in Congress, whether it was medical malpractice, asbestos, or arbitration, she still represented her clients. During her year as president, she and I tried a case for nearly 3 months. And I saw Mary leave that trial on a red eye on a Tuesday, fly back to DC, testify or meet with members of Congress, and fly back on a red eye and be back in trial by Thursday. That is the Mary that I was in awe of. But with all of that, I know that Mary would most appreciate the next words. Amazing lawyer, loving spouse, wonderful mother, adoring grandmother, and mentor to many, including me. Please join me in honoring Mary Alexander.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Gary, for those kind words. And thank you for being a great president of AAJ and a wonderful friend. And thank you to all of you for this great honor. It was 10 years ago, here in San Francisco, in this hotel, when I was proud to be president of AAJ. And I said to you then that you are the soldiers of justice. You who fight for justice in the courtroom and for justice in Congress. While I was president, I was involved in legislative battles against CAPS and Med-Mal and 2 other battles. I was very pleased that no bad legislation passed on my watch. Thank you, Linda Lipson. And pleased about all the other things that Gary talked about. But I was most proud of being able to have an impact with the concept of having that place, a seat at the table, for each of the chairs of the new lawyers, the Women's Caucus, and the Minority Caucus. I wanted AAJ to be a more inclusive place, a more welcoming place for everyone. And it was through that effort, when the board finally here in San Francisco, they had passed so that we could have those seats. It was here that we had the first election of those 3. And now it's part of our governance, taken for granted. And it's so wonderful to see that that has come to pass, because it wasn't always that way. I started out at AAJ Outlaw when Roxanne Conlon in the early 80s was running for president. And I saw her struggles. And it was not always easy for women. I was the chair when it was then the Minority and Women's Caucus, and which split apart when Roxanne called about a dozen or less of us women together for the first Women's Caucus. Pamela Packus was then the 2nd president, and I became the 3rd. And when I was president, Kathleen Flynn Peterson was parliamentarian, and we called ourselves bookends. It was the first time 2 women were on the days together. And how excited I am now to see 5 out of the 7 on the days that are women, including our terrific 5th president, Mary Alice. What a great thing it is to see. And I'm proud to have played a small role in that, where women have stepped up to do the work, and they've gotten the work done for justice, and they've been recognized for it. And along the way, there were men who believed in helping women, who mentored them and believed in it. It really makes me very proud to receive this award in Leonard Ring's name. He was a great human being, a great trial lawyer, and a true champion of justice. And I want to thank my family who's here, my husband Skip, my daughter Michelle, and my grandchildren Ian, 14, and Lily, 10. Could you all stand up, please? Thank you so much for all your support. When I was president, we called Skip the first spouse. And then my staff, who do such wonderful work and support me, Jennifer Fioria, Sophia Islami, Janet Williams, Carla Jimenez, and Madison Miller, they're here. Thank you very much for all you do. I'm excited that I was able to help fight for justice in AAJ, but also at the same time to have helped bring justice to people. For example, the woman that I was talking about on the video, that she was able to have justice after such a terrible accident. Also for a woman who, along with her children, they lost their husband and father because of the negligence of a truck driver. The victims of the San Bruno gas pipeline explosion who lost loved ones in the fire caused by the corporate culture that ignored safety. And I'm in trial now in a case that deals with lead poisoning of children through the negligence and of the lead paint companies. I'm proud to be a trial lawyer. I'm proud to be one of you who go into the courtroom every day to fight for justice, you who strive to let the light of justice shine. But the battle for justice goes on. It still wages. In the words of Ted Kennedy, the work goes on, the cause endures, and the dream shall never die. Thank you very much for this great honor.